What's up, everybody? My name's Devin and I'm a grillaholic. As I'm sure you can tell, yesterday we had a snow day here in Missouri, and so I thought, what better way to beat the cold than to make some chili? No, we're not going to make just any regular chili. That's not how we do things around here. We're going to make chuck roast burnt-in chili on the smoker. It's going to be awesome. Before we jump in, why don't you guys click that subscribe button and ring that bell? You're not going to want to miss this. Now let's head inside and we'll start prepping our burnt-ins. Alright, so for our burnt-in chili, we're basically going to be smoking burnt-ins and smoking chili and then combining the two together, and it's going to be awesome. I'm super excited for this. So we got a 3-pound chuck roast, and then we're going to season it with some Grillaholics SPG plus butter and some Grillaholics SPG. And then we're going to use our Grillaholics mesh grill mat to make it easy to go back and forth from the smoker. So let's go ahead and start cutting this chuck roast and get things rolling. Alright, so first we are going to cut our chuck roast into about 1-inch cubes. So I'm just going to go ahead and start cutting. Basically, we're going to cut it this way first, and then we'll cut them into smaller pieces. You know, our goal here is really just to have something where we can get it, nice and seasoned, and get flavor kind of throughout. They will cook down some when we're actually cooking them. Obviously, ideally, you want it to be roughly bite size for chili, but like I said, they'll cook down some. So go ahead, finish cutting all these. We'll come back and I'll season them. Now that we've got it all cubed up nicely, we're gonna go ahead and start seasoning it. First, I'm gonna toss them with our Grillaholics SPG plus butter. This will give it that nice buttery flavor. I'm just gonna get a good coat here, kind of get it all tossed with it. That's just gonna give it that buttery flavor, a little salt, a little pepper, a little garlic. Make sure I get all the sides here. After I finish coating it with that, I'm gonna give it a layer of our regular just SPG, and that's gonna help give it that really nice bark. And so I'm gonna actually go ahead and place these on the mesh mat, and then we will season them on there just so we can make sure that we're getting every side covered really well. You can't have too much seasoning on these. I'm really excited for these. It's gonna be really tasty. Find a little extra space on my mat here. Alright, so now we're going to coat it with our regular SPG. This is going to help give it that really nice bark. Just making sure we get lots of good coverage here. Alright, I'm going to turn them. Now while we kind of let that absorb into the meat, we're gonna go ahead and start prepping our chili base. So I'm gonna bring my pan over. First things first, we're gonna put in all of our liquids. So I'm gonna start with a can of tomato sauce. We're gonna add a beer for that extra flavor. I'm using a Modelo for this one. You can use a dark beer for flavor if you prefer a light beer. Whatever you want, really. But for me, I decided to go with the Modelo today. And now I'm gonna add in my spices. So I've got some chili powder, a little bit of cayenne, and some crushed red pepper, salt, a little bit of paprika. We've got some minced garlic, some oregano, and then some cumin. So now let's stir that up, get that all mixed in. And then we're gonna add our solids after that. Trying to get it nice and incorporated there without splashing. My wife gets on my case when I make a mess, so try to keep it clean. You can already smell some of the flavor coming out. It's pretty awesome. I'm excited for that. I usually don't put a beer in my chili, but I found a recipe that looked interesting that did. And so I was like, you know what? We're gonna step things up a notch and we're gonna put some beer in our chili today. All right, so we got that nice and stirred. So let's add all of our solids. So first I got a can of Rotel Original. If you like it spicy, maybe you use the Rotel Hot. And then we're gonna add some diced peppers and onions. So we've got green peppers and we've got some onion, and I already sauteed those, so that way they just cook down a little bit, get a little color on them. And so now I'm gonna add the beans. So I'm sure some of you may be thinking, beans don't go in chili. Yes, they do. Yeah, it's okay, you can be wrong. So I drained these beans, so we're gonna use some black beans, some kidney beans, and then a can of pinto beans. So I'm gonna get that stirred in. Once we do that, then we can take this outside and get it on the smoker. So let me just finish stirring it in, and then we'll load up and we will go outside. All right, so let me grab set this over here to the side. Grab my tray. Put my beans and my chili on the tray. Get my burn ends, and then we will take these outside and get them on the smoker. All right, so today we're smoking on the Pit Boss pellet smoker. We're gonna do it at about 225. So first things first, I'm gonna put the burn ends in. Now I'm gonna put the chili below the burn ends so that we can catch those awesome beef drippings and add some more flavor to our chili. All right, so we'll be back in about 2 hours to check on these burn ends and make sure everything looks the way we want it to. See you in about 2 hours. All right, so after about 2 hours on the grill, I went out and checked on the burn ends, and they weren't quite to the color that I wanted them yet. So I ended up moving them down a little bit on the smoker, increased the temperature to about 275 and gave them another 30 minutes. Now we got some really good color, so I'm happy with that. So we're gonna go ahead and put them into our foil pan, add some sauce and toss them with some butter, and then we'll get them foiled up. All right, so we're going to take the burn ends off of our mesh grill mat, and we're gonna put them here into our pan. Try not to make a big mess. All right, and so now I'm going to toss them with some of my buddy Cosmos original barbecue sauce. So we're gonna add the sauce, get it in there. And I'm gonna take my spoon and I'm going to just get them nice and tossed in there. I'm gonna get the sauce covering everything. And ultimately this sauce is gonna give us flavor, and then provide some moisture to help soften up the connective tissues and things like that. Nice and coated. Alright, we got a good coat there. Alright, so now I'm going to add about a half a stick of butter. So I'm just gonna kind of place that in here throughout, just getting some good butter in there. Once again, it's just gonna add some flavor, add some moisture to help us soften. All right, and so now I'm gonna put the foil on top. Just kind of lock in all of the moisture and the heat. And then we're gonna take these back out and put them on the grill. And then we're gonna go for about another hour to an hour and a half. And then we'll bring them in, check them out, and put them on our chili. All right, so I just pulled the chili and the burn ends from the smoker, so let's dig in and check them out. So go ahead and take this foil off the top here. Woo, these are looking good. So I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of mix them up a little bit. And we're gonna have to do a taste test on one of these burn-ins before we combine them with the chili. So I'll find a good one here. Oh yeah, it's nice and tender. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's got really great color. You can, it's got the tackiness of the sauce. So I'm gonna go ahead and try that. Oh yeah, so good. Perfect. All right, well, it's like, you kidding me? All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and add these into our chili. So I'm gonna move this over. Get our chili here, and we will spoon these in. And then I'm gonna stir it in really well. And then we'll do one final taste test on the chili. And then that's gonna be a wrap. So let me get that stirred in. There's a nice smoky flavor and texture that's coming from the chili. I'm really excited for this. It's gonna be super good. Get this all mixed in really well. You can smell all the chilies and things like that that are in the chili, and man, I'm excited. Let's get one last bite with a little bit of the beans and one of these burn-ins. Man, that's good. You kidding me? All right, so today was awesome. We definitely was a full day, but we made our chuck roast burn-ins, put it into our chili. Absolutely phenomenal. Really excited to share this with you guys. If you liked this video, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring that bell, and I will see you guys next time. Cheers to being a Grillaholic.